What up, though? Are you one of them people who always wanted to have your own garden? Well, stay tuned. And by the end of this video, I'm going to equip you with arguably the most important step of the entire process, starting seeds. Without seeds, no plants. Without plants, no garden. So here we have our ingredients. First of all, you have the seeds. Today, we're doing watermelon. We have the napkin. You have moisture. And you have a Ziploc bag. Now, the paper towel is going to serve the same purpose that soil serves. It's medium, so which means that it's just going to house the seed in order to give the seed enough time to access the moisture so that it can begin to generate. It's almost like a cheat code. Obviously, I can sow the seed directly into the soil, but it tends to take a little longer because it's a number of different factors, right? So after you have the seed in some type of medium, whether it was paper towel or I sowed them directly into the soil, obviously I would need to add moisture. The difference between sowing the seed in a paper towel and doing it directly into soil is that the soil has some of the factors that you need to have in order for your seed to successfully germinate is you have to have darkness. First of all, you need to have the proper temperature and you need to have moisture. And the final factor is time. You need to wait the proper amount of time. So when you're dealing with direct to soil sowing of the seed, it's pretty hard to maintain all of those factors inside of this cup, right? Without it being the right time outside, especially if you was doing it directly into the garden. So you might be doing it when it's too early for the seed, for the conditions to be right for the seed to properly germinate. So if you want to get a jump start on the growth season, this is one of the things you do. So by doing it with the paper towel and doing it with the Ziploc bag, I'm able to take the paper towel, put it in a Ziploc bag, seal the Ziploc bag, and then I'm locking in that moisture. Versus if I had the seed directly in this, I wouldn't be locking in that moisture. So I got to come back, keep misting every day, every other day, keep checking on it. Obviously, where I would keep it stored at while I'm giving the seed enough time to germinate will be an important factor, whether it was outside, inside, etc. So in order to cut down on all of that thinking, to take the guesswork out of it, it's pretty much as long as you have viable seeds, there's nothing wrong with them. This is pretty much 100% guaranteed success method. So let's get into it. I'm gonna move this out the way because we're not ready for this step of the process. Actually, I'm going to use these today, but for a different purpose than sowing seed. And I'll tell you about that later. All right. So first we're going to start off with the paper towel itself. You don't need that much. I'm just tearing off a piece. This is about all you need. All right, so today I'm thinking I'm gonna do about 5 seeds. Now this container, it's no special reason that I had the seeds in this container. These literally something that was just laying around. And these seeds come from a watermelon that I actually ate, which is 2023. This was in 2021. In 2022, I didn't even do anything with them. They've been sitting here ever since. I grew seeds from different watermelon last year. So I believe these came from yellow meat, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to preserve them, but I never got around to planting them. So anyway, there's no special reason they was in this container. Seeds last literally indefinitely. I'm talking about years, 5 years, 10 years. I don't even know if it's seeds even have a life cycle. But so anyway, I'm taking the paper towel and I'm just going to lay, 5 or 6 of them out. I'm spacing them out, and it don't matter if you space them out for them to germinate. You can have them all clumped on top of each other and they probably will still germinate. The only problem with that is once they germinate and you get ready to take them out of here and actually plant them, now they all entangled. And they are so delicate that you can barely even touch them without tearing them, breaking them. It's not like you're dealing with actual plants at this stage of the process. So you want to space them out in order that when you get ready to go to the next step of the process, you don't defeat the entire purpose of everything we're doing by killing the plant before it even get a chance to get started. So now I have the seeds here in the paper towel. I'm gonna take some moisture and that's it. Just a couple squirts. I literally just misting them. It's not like you watering them. They're not actual plants. They don't have roots. There's no need to drench them. Plus, you don't want them too much moisture to be involved with this early in the process, because you run a potential that the seeds may rot before they have an opportunity to germinate. So all I'm doing is just misting them like I just did right there. Then I'm folding the paper towel over. I'm gonna mist them again, even less that time. Then I'm gonna flip it over because I want to make sure that it has paper towel also on the back of it, because the seeds are almost literally busting through the paper towel. If I just take my finger and press it, you can see where each one of them is located. I'm gonna fold it that one last time. That's it. I'm gonna hit it with it just a little more moisture. Hit it a little more on this side. Boom. That's about it. That's about the proper amount of moisture you want. Boom. Like I say, you don't want them super drenched because they're going to be in here for a couple of days, however long it takes for them to germinate. And I don't want the seeds to rot in that time and start to grow mildew and mold, especially when you're dealing with moisture, high humidity. It's easy that you can make the seeds mold. So boom, after I'm done with that step of the process, I'm putting them in a Ziploc bag. I'm sealing the bag, right? And what that's doing is locking in that moisture. I'm gonna bust a small, tiny hole in the top. And I usually blow up the bag. One of the reasons I'm doing that is for one, the heat from my breath is getting in the bag, which is adding to the moisture. But I want the bag to be lifted up off of the paper towel. I want to be able to flip it over like that. I don't want the bag to just collapse on the paper towel, because then you have no air circulation at all, which is another factor you actually kind of need when you're germinating seeds. So that's it. That's it. 6 watermelon seeds in a matter of probably 3 or 4 days, they'll be done. All right, I'm back. So now that I showed you the process I used to start the seeds, I'm going to give you an example of what they look like after a couple of days. I did this on the first day of spring, and today is the 26th. So this is about 5 days. I could have probably took them out after 3, maybe even 4. 5 is kind of pushing it, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. Because like I say, it's easy for the seeds to rot. And you want to, and as soon as the seeds germinate, as soon as you see roots sticking out like you see right here, you want to get it in some type of soil. You want to get it under some type of light. You don't want to leave them in this situation for too long, right? So now I'm ripping the paper towel, and I'm trying not to tear the little root that's sticking out. And I'm moving a little fast. See, it looked like I already ripped a piece of one of them. And just because you rip a piece of one of them, that don't mean that it's over. As long as you have some of the root still sticking out, the plant will still anchor itself. So let me slow down to make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, voila. Here's a close-up of the seeds after they have germinated. Now, like I say, when I'm doing this process of unraveling it, it's real easy to tear one of these roots because you can see a lot of times it grows through the paper towel, which is what I wanted to do because the paper towel is maintaining moisture. One thing you cannot afford to do is allow the seeds to dry out when they're still in the germination process. So if you too sensitive, if you're being too delicate about this and it's too wrapped up in here and you're afraid that you're going to rip the seeds, you can just tear the whole piece of paper towel and tear one of the seeds off like this. And you can literally plant this and it'll still grow. Instead of taking a chance of trying to delicately undo it and take this and pull it off of here without ripping it, you can just rip the whole piece of paper towel. As long as this root is having contact with the soil and you don't bury this part, it's going to grow. Yeah, so that's it for this video. I was a little long-winded, but I wanted to be detailed because the purpose of my channel was geared towards beginners who don't really know much. You're intimidated about the entire process. I'm here to let you know that it's really not much to it. That's how you germinate your seeds. It works for almost any seed, right? So watermelon, cantaloupe, peppers, tomatoes, whatever you're trying to grow, you can do it using this method. Some seeds have special requirements. If you're dealing with like cherries and they have to go through, you have to freeze them first, and it's a whole scarification is the name of that process. I'll dedicate another video to that. But for the most part, 90% of all seeds that you need to plant, especially if you start in a regular vegetable garden, you can do it using this process. Hope you got something out of it. Thanks for listening. Let me know down in the comments if you learned anything from this video. How do you normally germinate your seeds? And how has it been working out for you? Happy gardening.